You've probably heard the phrase, think outside the box, right? But what does that actually mean? How does a small, simple thought, a little what if, actually grow into a product that can change the world? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down that exact journey, from that very first spark of an idea all the way to its final impact. So this is the big question we're tackling. From the outside, it can seem like pure magic. One day, something just doesn't exist, and the next day, you can't imagine your life without it. But you know what? It's not magic. There's actually a process, a kind of map, that anyone can learn to follow. So let's break down that map, starting right at the beginning. Before there's any product, before there's any big plan, there's just a spark inside the human mind. So to really understand how great products get built, we have to start with the two most basic building blocks of any creation: thinking and creativity. It all starts here, with the simple act of thinking. This is the engine that powers everything else. It's how we look at the world, how we ask questions about why things are the way they are, and how we make sense of all the information around us. Every single great innovation in history didn't start with a loud bang, but with a quiet, simple thought.
But then, creativity is the next step up. It's a huge leap beyond just simple thinking. It's not just about understanding what's already there. It's about making brand new connections. It's that what-if moment, that little spark that takes a few existing ideas and combines them to create something totally new and hopefully really valuable. Let's make this idea real for a second. Just imagine someone many years ago having this thought. At a time when every single phone you could buy was absolutely covered in physical buttons, this idea was, well, it was kind of crazy. It was a purely creative jump that challenged the very idea of what a phone was supposed to be.
Okay, so you've got a creative idea. That's an amazing start, but an idea that just stays in your head doesn't really change anything, does it? To make it real, we have to understand the difference between two very important concepts that people often get mixed up: invention and innovation.
And this right here shows you the key difference. Invention is all about creating something completely new, something that has never existed before. But innovation, that's about taking that invention and making it useful, making it something people actually want and can use in their daily lives. A simple way to think about it is, invention is about creating the new, while innovation is about creating the useful.
So an invention is the first of its kind. Think about the very first mobile phone. It was huge, it was bulky, incredibly expensive, but it was a true invention. For the very first time, you could make a phone call without being physically tied to a wire. It created a whole new category of technology. But innovation is what took that invention and made it truly powerful for all of us. The smartphone didn't invent the mobile phone, it innovated on the idea. By adding a great camera, access to the internet, and this whole world of apps, it completely transformed a simple calling device into a tool we use for everything in our modern lives. Now that is the power of innovation. So here, we can see that whole journey laid out really clearly. It starts with a creative idea. Hey, what if we used a touch-based interface on a phone? That creative spark leads to an invention, the very first phone with a touchscreen. And finally, that leads to innovation, the iPhone, which made the user experience so simple and so beautiful that it started a complete revolution. You see how each step builds on the one before it? So, you might be wondering, how can we do this again and again? How can we reliably go from a creative thought to a successful innovation? Is there a system, a map we can follow? Well, yes, there is, and it's a really powerful framework called design thinking. Now, the most important thing to know about design thinking is that it is all about people. It's human-centered. This isn't just a process for making cool new gadgets. No, it's a process that starts with people and ends with people, by deeply understanding their needs and creating solutions that solve their real, actual, everyday problems. And here's the map. The process has 5 clear phases. First, you empathize. You really try to feel and understand your user's problems. From that understanding, you define the exact problem you're going to solve. Then, you let your creativity run wild and ideate, brainstorming all kinds of solutions. After that, you build a simple version, a prototype, to make your idea real. And finally, you test that prototype with actual users, get their feedback, learn from it, and make it better. So, why does any of this matter to you? Well, because this isn't just something for product designers working at giant tech companies. Not at all. This is a mindset, a toolkit that really anyone can use to solve problems, whether they're big or small. So what's the big takeaway?
Design thinking gives you a reliable system. It's like a bridge that connects that wild creative spark to a practical solution that works in the real world. It pushes you to create things that are actually meaningful to people, and it gives you a clear, step-by-step process for tackling any complex problem you might face. So, I'm going to leave you with this one final question to think about. Just look around at your own world, your work, your school, your community. What's a common problem or frustration that everyone just seems to accept as normal? What problem are you facing right now that's just waiting for a new, creative way of thinking?